These 4 tips when it comes to day trading psychology will help you actually not look as crazy as this guy when you're actually day trading, but two, more importantly, to help you reduce your stress levels when you are trading so that you'll be composed, stoic, relaxed, and very consistent with your day trading strategy that you're doing on a regular basis. So, first things first, tip number one is that you need to realize that this is for the pros, being that 2+ trades daily is literally for professionals. Professionals in this scenario being that you're consistently profitable as a day trader as a whole. If you're not there and you're not taking and you are taking, 2 trades regularly plus, that's too much. Let's break it down. So if you are consistently losing trades with one daily trade, then you doing more, such as 4, will only do the following when you think about it. One, logic perspective, if you can't win with one trade, then doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is only going to make things worse because your problem's not having more available trades is that you can't be profitable with just the one, right? If you're already, as an example, that's literally like saying, hey, I'm trying to learn how to cook X, but I'm going to just keep cooking X the same exact way nonstop without trying to improve things overall. It's going to get the same result. You're just doing more of the same thing badly, right? So technically, with you doing the same thing more often, but badly, you're going to literally probably 3x plus your losses, right? Because if you go from one trade and it's sometimes a winner, sometimes a loser, then you go to 4 trades, then you're ideally going to have more losses. Potentially, you have probably 3 losses, hence 3x your losses. But you might have that one winner, hence why it'll provide you false hope since you will accidentally win at least one of those trades, maybe even 2 of those trades, and the result you're going to start thinking, hey, I'm winning. It makes sense. But in reality, all you did was increase your wins, sure, with a higher volume of trades, sure, but you've 3x your losses from a negative profitability perspective because you still aren't consistent, right? Because technically, if you're taking one trade and you're consistent, then you taking 4 trades, you could still be consistent. But if you're taking one trade on a regular basis and you're not consistent, if you take 4 trades, you're still not going to be consistent because the number of trades is not your problem. It's you being consistent with X strategy, which we'll talk about later on. But from a psychology perspective, you need to realize that less is more here. So that leads into the first tip here of what exactly should you do if you're asking. It's basically this: trade a max of either one every other day, which means you should do 3 trades per week max, which is basically equates to 12 trades per month. So in this example, that basically looks like maybe a trade Monday, maybe a trade Wednesday, maybe a trade Friday, and then that's it. I'm not saying those are the only the days that you actually trade. I'm not saying it has to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It could be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. It's just basically 3 times a week, basically. And again, the reason I say that is because I used to say daily max 1 trade per day. That's too much for a lot of people still when you think about it. Because put it this way. Look at this. This is the what you should not be doing. Because initially it was 5 day trades a week, which is 20 trades per month. And you may be thinking, well, that kind of looks about the same. It's not. Because per month, that's nearly about a 50% reduction in trades by you saying no to trading every day. Because what I've noticed is that a lot of people, if they say, okay, I need to take 1 trade a day, then they have the bad habit of saying, maybe Monday is a good day. I found my trade. Tuesday's a bad day. I'm going to force a trade. And then it just so happens it's a bad trade and it eats up my Monday plus any money I was going to make the next following day, and it just destroys things. So technically, you need to flex that no muscle by saying yes to the trade on Monday because you felt comfortable with it. You knew it was going to work. Tuesday, no trade works in your favor. You don't take a trade. You feel uncomfortable with the trade psychology wise. You just don't trade the entire day because 0 is still, I don't know if this is mathematically correct, but in my mind, I'm just going to say this. To me, 0 is a positive number, right? Because it's not negative, right? Because if you make 0 that day or you make $1 a day, to me, that's positive in your ROI for your account. If you make $5 on Monday and you lose negative $20 on Tuesday, or you lose $20 on Tuesday, period, then you lost money overall. So you need to flex that no muscle by taking no trades some days and counting that as a positive trade for all of the days that you take no trades. Because again, If you're not professional, being you're not consistently profitable already, I would be willing to bet, from a psychology perspective, it's eating away at you. And you may think that I just need more trades available, more, 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 more. You sound like a gambling addict. You sound like a drug addict. You sound like you're addicted to this. That's not a good thing. Start saying no. Stop trying to force things. Only wait for your setup. If your setup happens, you take the trade. If your setup doesn't happen, you don't take the trade. You have to think about it from that perspective. But that's the psychology tip number one.
If you're looking to become a consistently profitable day trader that makes $10,000 per month, then go ahead and visit mkuniversity.com/info to get started. We provide one-on-one coaching for 2 months, and that way we actually hold your hand and walk you to becoming successful with our specific day trading strategy, which is trading one strategy with one ticker and day trading once per day so you can be successful long term and actually take care of your family. And it doesn't matter where you are, by the way. If you're new to trading or you're an experienced trader already, but you're still just not consistently profitable as a whole, we'll teach you everything from A to Z from the ground up so you can be consistent, so you can be profitable, and more important, you can do the things you want to do, when you want to do them, how you want to do them, and not have to be trading so much. Because the goal when it comes to trading is to get your life back and to get your finances in order so you can do everything you want to do. And by the way, we already have 1,003 video testimonials from people that are already successful using this strategy that you've been learning in this video. So if you want to be the next person, you want to be number 1,004, then go ahead and click the link in the description where it says apply for coaching, and you can go ahead and get started. And now back to the video.
Number two, focus on losing and not winning, which sounds counterintuitive, right? We're day trading. Like the whole point of this thing is, okay, I want to win money, Maurice. I don't want to like focus on losing. You sound stupid. I should cut off this video. I'm telling you, bear with me. From a psychology perspective, you have to flip the lens here so it makes sense. So first thing is this. I want to give you this perspective. When you focus primarily on winning, right, as most people are, because I don't do this. And a lot of people in my one-on-one coaching program, they don't focus on winning. They focus on losing, the ones that are consistent. When they focus primarily on winning, the moment you lose, you become unhappy that you did not make money because you think money's the only goal. So when it's not maximized or when you don't make any period, you feel like a complete failure. Hence why it's very common for people to do what's called revenge trading, which is you fail a trade basically, and then right after you exit the trade, of course it goes in your favor, you jump back in, double the amount of money into it, and you still lose a trade, and you've 2 to 3 to 4 extra loss, and then the trade just keeps going, right? That's a revenge trade. We don't want that, but that oftentimes happens when people focus on, I want to win, 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 win in an obsessive way, which is not good for your psyche. It's not good for your psychology. It's not good for anything, realistically. So for me, I like to focus on losing. So let's talk about what does that look like. When you focus on losing, then by default, your focus is on saving money and taking low risk trades primarily and only. This means you will not only say no to more trades while focusing on getting out as well at break even more in general. Now let me say that again. Let me read the specific piece out because this is very important. This means you will say no to more trades while focusing on getting out at break even more as well. Conclusion is that you have higher profitability. So if you focus on saving your money, taking low risk trades, that basically ties into basically you saying no to more trades, which ties into the first psychology tip of saying trade Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Because if you're saying no Tuesday, Thursday, then you're not taking a trade then. And then also still on Monday, let's say you took a trade and it was going positive, but you thought, maybe it's not going to get to take profit 3, but I think it might. Okay, I'm going to focus on saving, quote unquote, saving money, and I'm going to get out a little bit early because I don't want to make a high risk trade. I don't want to, maybe it hits my take profit and it runs right against me. I don't want to risk that. Let me get out early for profit, and then boom, you're fine. Or maybe you jump into a trade right away, it kind of goes against you from a it goes against you essentially, and it comes back up. For me, I use the fear to my advantage and say, screw it, I'm going to get out at break even. I don't care if it even is Wednesday. I'm going to want to only one of the days I'll potentially trade. I'm getting out at break even. I want it to go in my favor right away. If it doesn't, I don't want to be in the trade, right? But you being as picky as possible, focusing on losing as much as possible, not as much as possible, but focusing on the concept of losing as much as possible, that forces you to focus on the winning overall because you're taking less risky trades. You're taking fewer trades. You're overall getting out early potentially for a quote unquote smaller amount of profit versus a large loss, right? So, tip one is before ending a trade, know 100% with certainty where you're going to exit for a loss, first of all, and where you're going to exit for a win as well. Tip number two, if the trade, I talked about this already, but if the trade does not go in your favor right away, once you enter, from a day trading perspective anyway, you need to get out at break even. There's nothing wrong with that because again, zero is a positive number at the end of the day. If you made the zero, sure, there's commissions. I don't care. It's such a small amount. Don't bring that up. That doesn't matter. We're trying to get a break even or a slight profit. Cool. If you want to get the commissions piece off, what's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'd much rather you pay the little stupid small piece of commissions and then you rather than you have a giant huge loss because you're just letting it run because you're so focused on winning a day trade that you don't let the loss happen when it needs to happen, or you don't let a break even happen when it needs to happen. So tip number three, and final tip here, is saying no. It's better than saying yes to a bad quality trade that you may financially regret later. So it's not uncommon for a lot of day traders to jump in a trade, they don't feel comfortable, and then right away they're thinking, you know what, I shouldn't have gotten this trade. It looks like I can get out at a break even, as mentioned in tip two, but I'm gonna let it ride. If you have something in your gut, your soul deep down that's saying get the heck out of the trade, get out the trade. There's always another trade the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. It's perfectly fine. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to say yes to fewer trades. That's fine. Because big picture perspective, right? There's two big picture perspectives here. It's one, trading hypothetically 3 times a week. But even bigger picture, I don't know if you realize this, but the best goal is to actually be trading 1 time a week anyway. Right now, FY, I'm telling you three, but for the most part, especially when I trade, whether day trade or swing trade, realistically, it's only one. I trade sometimes 1 time a week because I go for a higher uh, volume of trade, excuse me, higher volume of contracts inside of a trade, so I can make more money in the single trade. So that way, for me, best picture scenario is that let's say I take a trade on Monday, then or let's say I don't take a trade on Monday. I say no Monday on the trades. I say no on Tuesday to the trade. I say no to a trade on Wednesday, and finally maybe yes to a trade on Thursday, and then no on Friday. I'm saying I have a stronger no muscle than most of you all. And you may be wondering sometimes, you're like, oh, why does Maurice upload a lot more live trades and stuff like that for MK University? It's because I don't really trade. Like, think about it mathematically. If my trades are between, from a day trading perspective anyway, sometimes profitability between $2,000 to $4,000 a week, let's just say on the low end, it's 2K, and that's a week. 2 times 4, because it's 4 weeks, is 8K. If you could trade 1 time a day and make 4K a month, excuse me, 8K a month, are you really that upset? You don't have a boss to report to. You don't have any of those other junk to do. You're relaxed. You can go do anything you want to, spend time with your family, friends, etc. You're fine. I don't have trades to upload. I rarely trade. Come on, that's day trading. My swing trade stuff is also once a week. That's different. Depends on that trade, but I'll make it anywhere between, there's a wide variety between $5,000 and $30,000. So that's additional profitability for me, and I'm just waiting for the trade to come to me. Same way, different strategy, different story, but same thing. So it's like if I can make 8K from day trading, one a week, and then I can make, it very varies between 20,000 to about 40,000, like only 50,000, it depends. For swing trading, I'm financially fine, and that's just trading. That's nothing to do with my dividends. That's nothing to do with long-term investing. That's nothing to do with my 2 businesses that I currently have with the one-on-one coaching program with this stuff, and my advisory type company as well from a business B2B type scenario and other things. Right? There's different things, but you don't need to just you don't want to become a 7, 8 figure trader per se from trading a bunch of times. The goal with trading is become a great 6 figure earner when it comes to trading, maybe close to mid 6 figure earner, right? Because again, I would imagine before we go to the next slide, you would not necessarily be mad if you made $500,000 from trading. Doesn't sound that bad to me. It's basically what I do. That's okay, right? So that's tip number 2. Third thing, and again, I know this sounds crazy. I know this sounds stupid. I know this sounds like a lie, but I'm just being honest is what it is. Work 10 minutes per day when it comes to trading. Because technically, with a specific criteria, you should let the trade come to you because you're so picky with the trades. Meaning, you should draw your zones, set alarms, and walk away. The tip is that only look at the chart when your alarm goes off. If you stare at it for longer, you will 100% force a trade at some point, resulting in more than likely a losing trade. And of course, the worst case scenario is a winning trade in the scenario because you're forcing bad habits to actually become reality, and you don't want that to happen. Because if you force something to happen, you win money, then you're going to get cool. If I just watch the chart more than 20 minutes, then I'll make 2x more money. If I watch the chart for 30 minutes, I'll make more money. And then before you know it, you're watching the chart for 4 hours and you're losing all your money, and then you blew up your entire account, which is day trading terminology for you lost all your money. You don't want that. Set your alarms, wait for zones to get hit, only come back when the alarm goes off, your phone gets set off on an alarm, and then you take the trade. The trade, the candles basically are the 1 minute chart, so it's zone reversal confirmation entry. That's 3.1 minutes of waiting out of your 10 minutes, and the trade might be between 1 minute to maybe 4 minutes. So if the trade's 4 minutes long, 4 minutes plus 3.1 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 minutes of a trade. You don't need to trade very long. You don't. Sometimes you don't even get to this 10-minute max. Sometimes maybe you do. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it gets to like 12. That's fine, right? Because sometimes it gets to the zone, doesn't exactly bounce right off. You have to come back later. That's okay. But the goal is, from an average perspective, work 10 minutes per day when it comes to trading. This is not a 40-hour job. Or period, I'll take that away. This is not a job in general. This is not a 40-hour week type job. A lot of people who come into trading for the first time think that their worker brain needs to be worker brain with this. You hours in the live market does not equal higher financials as an outcome. When it comes to trading as a whole, hours in practice equate to a shorter amount of time that you'll be live trading, which equates to higher quality trades that provide a bigger financial output. That's the cycle there of how you become consistently profitable. But the problem is that people don't do the first part. And the first part is consistently practicing. I know it sounds boring. I know it doesn't sound interesting. But I mean, I think I don't remember the exact numbers as of recently, but I'll just talk from a generalistic perspective. When it comes to like NBA players, NFL players, et cetera, do you really like, let's think this through, right? Do you really think that the time when someone's playing in an NBA game is the only time when they're actually playing the game, even though they're making millions, right? And are you really telling me that that game is the only time that they're actually playing it? Don't you think they probably practice? Are you and then realistic and they're making millions? So to flip it around, are you telling me that you only do live trading and you don't practice the same amount of time on a daily basis? Those guys make millions and they practice on a daily basis, regularly, nonstop. And by the way, when it comes to practice, I'm not saying practice 5 little stupid ass minutes. I'm not talking about that. Don't waste your time if that's the case and that's all you think you can do. You need to be practicing a minimum of 30 minutes a day. And I said minimum, by the way. Even for me, I still do that and I'm fine financially. So don't let me out practice you. That doesn't even make any sense. If I'm doing 30 minutes, I usually tell people to do 30 minutes. You should probably be doing an hour anyway, but start with 30. That's fine. You can do that in Thinkorswim's on-demand practice kind of area. You can practice all the past, I think it's 7+ years worth of data, and literally practice drawing zones, letting trades come to you, jumping in trades, et cetera, with fake money, what's called paper money. You can practice that. But again, that should be 30 minutes a day. And I'll tell you this right now. If you don't do that 30 minutes a day and you think you can get past that, you're basically saying two things. One, you think that you can become wealthy or you can make money without doing very much work, and I'm telling you that's false. If you think that's the case, click off this video. This video is not for you. Don't watch any other YouTube video from me, and do not watch any other type of financial, I guess, journey video or tutorial video from anyone else, because nothing will help you. Just being dead serious. You're not going to get anywhere without making a bunch of effort. Everyone already knows my story of whenever I, especially doing a lot of this stuff, I ignored everything and everyone in my entire life, gained weight and everything to make this possible for me to be consistent with this. I did the extreme. I was going 5, 6, 7 hours a day, making the strategy, using the strategy, testing the strategy, doing everything else for it to happen. Not saying you need to do that, but hey, if you did do that and you had the time, I was unemployed at the time because I got let go again, but that's what I did. I'm just saying doing 30 minutes a day. You have 30 minutes a day. Don't sit here and tell me you don't have 30 minutes a day. You go to work. I went to corporate America. I went up to becoming an IT director. I know I still had time at the time. I know you have time. You work potentially from 7 a.m. because you have to drive there, right? From 7 a.m. to 5, and you of course got to drive home. So let's say you get at 6, of course, right? Maybe we'll just say you get home at 6:30. From 6:30 to 7, potentially you might be eating, or let's just say you maybe have to cook everything. So let's say potentially when all that's said and done, from 6:30 to, let's just say worst case scenario, somehow 7:30, you're finally free. But you're like, you know what, Maurice, I want to relax and turn my brain off. Cool, that's fine. From 7:30 to 8:30, you have your hour. That's fine. You're like, you know what, I need to spend time with the kids. Cool. From 8:30 to 9, spend time with the kids, 30 minutes, or the wife, the husband, whoever it is. But 9 o'clock onward, it needs to be your time. You have 30 minutes in there. If you're telling me you go to sleep at 10, go to sleep at 10:30. Do not BS me. Don't BS yourself, more importantly. Find the 30 minutes. If you can't find the 30 minutes, don't bother trading because you will 100,000% fail. And you're wasting your time watching the video, giving people views for no reason. We don't want the views. We don't need the views. It doesn't matter. Sure, maybe I'm going a little deeper than I probably need to for this, but I'm just being realistic. Don't waste your time. If you don't want to put in the effort for this, just relax. I mean, think about it. You have the whole 30 minutes to yourself. You don't have to put your family into a big, you know, stressful situation of you avoiding them. You can just relax, take your time, go eat some ice cream. I don't know. You can go do so many other things. Spend time with everybody. That's fine. But pick a side. Don't be half in, half out. But if you're trying to do this again, working 10 minutes a day per day, when it comes to live trading is how it should be, and practice 30 minutes a day as well. So that's tip number 3. Third thing here is stick to the strategy if you found something that actually works for you specifically. So trading should be boring and not fun. Continue to let it work daily without trying to add things like technical indicators, news, etc., etc. Because I hear way too often, and sometimes I even try to do this myself, and I have to catch myself. FY. Sometimes people they find something like, man, this is weird. I'm making, I don't know, $5 a day doing X strategy, and it's very simple, straightforward, etc. And it's working. Okay, you know what? I could probably make more money if I add this and I watch the news and add 3 VWAP bands, upper, middle, lower, etc., and all this other stuff. Why are you changing something that works? The wheel has been around forever. It's okay to just keep it a wheel. It doesn't. You don't have to. No one needs to go out there and make tires squares. It's okay. The wheels are fine. Sure, they upgrade things later on, but they already made multiple millions from the dang wheel in the first place. Then they changed it. No one changed it up front. The wheel was the wheel for the longest. It visually got changes, and then things got, et cetera, et cetera. But the concept is that you keep it the same. Stop trying to make things complicated. That's why you're failing. Number 2, if your strategy works, then stop looking at other tickets to trade. One is more than enough. Because think about it. If you can make 2K from a single trade, how many of those do you probably need for you to cover your expenses? This is be real here, right? From a psychology perspective, you don't need that much. If you trade with 100 contracts, you can make $2,000 very simply in 1 to 3 minutes of a trade. Realistically, if you're waiting for the correct high quality one, have videos on that on other channel, have live videos that are already in this channel, have a bunch of tutorials that are 30 minutes to an hour long explaining the strategy, so watch those if necessary. But one is more than enough. Think about it. If you make one trade and it's $2,000, 2 is 4,000. I'm willing to bet, I would hope, depends on where you live. Of course, California, New York, etc., inside the United States are different. But $4,000 probably covers your mortgage. More than likely. If not, wow, cool. 3 trades, $6,000. So it becomes, let's just use the 6,000 example. If you had $6,000, is that enough monthly for you to not go to your stupid, boring, annoying, hate job that you hate? If it is, then translate it to say, can you be right about the direction of a day trade for 3 minutes 3 minutes 3 times a month to earn $6,000? How many times did you see in a dang trade going up and you're like, okay, I would probably make money if I was in it for at least 3 minutes. I know for sure where it's going. That's the game. I shit you not. So if you can be right about the direction, you can make your money. The problem is that you think that you need more trades. To go back to tip number one, it's not. It's be consistent with a low amount of trades, and once you're consistent with a low number of trades, then you add more money per trade that you're doing. And once you add more money per trade, what you're doing, you keep scaling it up more and more and more, so that you can make a bunch of money from individual smaller number of trades. That's the goal. It's not 1,000 trades. It's 3 trades for now where you make a bunch of money. Besides, which one would you rather do? 1,000 trades or 3 trades? 1,000 trades or 4 trades? 500 trades or even 5 trades, hypothetically? Like, come on. And if I'm being realistic, the real question is, because I've seen this, and this is very common, would you rather do 3 trades that I'm proposing, or what I see some people do, 15 trades on a weekly basis? That's too many trades. 15 weekly times 4, which is a month, is 60. 60 trades? You know how hard it is to be right um, consistently 60 times versus being right 3 times a week, 3, 6, 9, 12 times, right? I'd much rather try to be right 12 times than be right 60 times. That's insanity. No wonder you're failing. You can't be right that many times. How many times you got in an argument with your spouse? The goal is to get in as few arguments as possible, because sometimes you're like, oh, I want to win, I want to lose, etc. But the goal is to get in as few arguments as possible so that you can have a good relationship. And with you having a good relationship, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but you can stay consistently in a relationship because you're not having so many arguments. So, same logic here. Have less things going on. Less is more. So, piece number 3. This one's very important, even though some people overlook this all the time. And our community is really bad about this, but don't talk to other traders or join, let's just say or join chat rooms to discuss your trades. Over time, you will develop FOMO, even if right away you don't have it, and change everything you're doing. It's very unfortunate that a lot of people may be consistent, they may be successful, etc. They go talk to some other trader or join a chat room, and before you know it, you go from trading one ticker being SPY, options, same day expiration contracts, to Tesla because someone just made $49,000 in 5 minutes of trading it, and it just so happens you kind of understand it, but what you don't know deep down is that they made $49,000 today, but they lost $826,424 yesterday, uh, just period, for making a crazy move, which sounds crazy, but funny enough, I've actually heard this. I've actually seen that to be true. Those aren't the exact numbers, and they might even sound over exaggerated. But I'm telling you, they weren't that far off. Because the guy was crazy risky. But anyway, different story. So don't do that. Just because you see some big numbers doesn't mean you need to go do something. And just because you're trading doesn't mean you need to talk to anyone when it comes to trading. To me, trading is a very isolated type, almost introverted type of trading, or sorry, type of skill set that you need, because the more people you talk to, the higher probability you'll end up losing trades, because you start feeding off of different people and their strategies, and then those strategies work for them versus with you. Like, even a lot of the stuff, like, think about it. For me, with my strategy, you have to think, why does my strategy work for me specifically? From a personality perspective, I'm not introverted per se. More of an introverted extrovert, different story. But I'm more of a lazy person, just being honest, because I don't like doing a bunch of work. As a result, I created a strategy where I don't have to do a bunch of work, and I can do like I said, 3 trades, sometimes 1 trade, but a low amount of trades to make a decent amount of money and then be good. That's the point, because I'm lazy, and so I formulated it that way. Now, if you're not lazy, you're the kind of person, guy or gal, that likes to be up and go and go do stuff and et cetera, et cetera. You probably couldn't do this. You can't sit in your hands that long. You're like, man, I used to take 16 trades today. Cool, this isn't your strategy then. That's fine. My strategy's not for everyone. That's okay. Click off the video, go watch someone else's video. That's perfectly fine. But if you're like me and you just want your time back to go do things you want to do, then, and you're maybe a little bit lazy because you just like to have fun, relax, spend time with the family, etc., friends, then this is for you. If you don't like that, you like fast, high-paced, quick, cool, flashy life, this is not for you. That's why on this channel I don't have this whole car thing of what is the stupid Lambo stuff that people always talk about. I don't care about that. Not even a little bit. Fancy cars are cool. I understand. But I don't know, just not my thing. But that's 3. Last one here. Slowly up your contract size, as we talked about, so that you can trade with more money. And as a result, do fewer trades per week. Big long-term goal that we've already hit on is 1 trade per week, but with a lot of money in that single trade. Because right now your goal is, again, 3 trades per week. Ideally, the goal next is 1 trade per week. And if you can imagine where it kind of goes from there, you don't need to do high frequency trading to be successful. You can do low frequency trading, as they call it, but with a higher amount of money. If you trade with ideally $10,000 after you get up to that point, right? I'm not saying do it now. It'd be stupid to do that right now. Then you can trade and make the 2K and do 1 trade a week. Perfectly fine. But when you start out, 1 contract for SPY options of what I buy, it only costs $100. You have $100. I know everyone here has $100. And most you can lose is $20. Most you can win. Most you can win is $20. Most you can lose is $20. And that's worst case scenario, right? Usually it's going to be 5 and 5, basically, as long as you follow the strategy correctly. Sometimes 10 and 10. It depends on the day. But that's the starting point. And then once you get consistent with that, you're making $1 to $5 on a daily basis or on a bi-daily basis. Cool. Move up from 1 contract to 2 contracts. Start being consistent with that. Cool. Move 2 contracts with just $200 to maybe 5 contracts. Then 5 contracts to 7. 7 contracts to 10. Right? And then you kind of keep scaling from there. Once you get to 10, that's you trading with $1,000 finally. So then same thing. Maybe you can start earning some more consistent money. But then the goal is to get from 10 contracts to 100 contracts as quickly as possible, but also while staying consistent, while keeping all of these psychology pieces in line so you can actually work 10 minutes per day, stick to the strategy once you find something that works for you, focus on losing and not winning from that mindset shift perspective. And last but not least, still even later on, unless you just are that personality, taking that 1 trade by daily, which is 3 trades a week max, which ideally is going to be 12 trades per month. Not 20, not 30, not 50, no more, no less.